So dude, stable tokens, why you would want to borrow, no matter what, with Alchemix, you always want to hit the max borrow button. That's the gamification here. The LEU, Lucid, Esports United, we put $58,000 in DAI stable tokens in here. We borrowed $30,000. We borrowed 50% of that. There's no loan payments. You don't need to make a loan payment. You can't ever get liquidated. So the key thing to do with somebody like yourself, max in. You cannot get liquidated. There's no liquidations here because you're borrowing dollars against dollars. Same with the ETH vault. You cannot get liquidated over here because you're borrowing ETH against ETH. So if you take $1,000 loan in Ethereum and your collateral's in Ethereum, if the price of Ethereum goes down and the price of your collateral's going down, so is the price of your loan that you owe. So they can never cross paths where you need to get liquidated. Does that make sense? So now, somebody in your position who doesn't necessarily want to like ape into other things or blow the money, you could take this $30,000 you borrowed and you can just deposit it back into Alchemix and safely lever yourself up. And all of a sudden you're earning interest on 1.5 times the amount of money. Does that make sense? So instead of earning interest on just the $60,000 we have here, we could have taken the $30,000 loan, redeposited in here, and had $90,000 in here safely earning. And at any time, if you needed that money, you could withdraw it out of the vault.
Oh, yeah.
You could repay your loan with it. It's the safest way to leverage yourself, to leverage your earnings. Yes, if it's at 6% and you levered up 1.5 times, you'd be technically earning 9% APY. And as that pays off your debt, the money that you redeposited in here to lever up with is just there. It's just yours. Having DAI in here gets me the APY, then I get the ALUSD too. So depositing DAI in the vault, the interest you earn is earned in ALUSD. So even if you didn't take a loan, if you just deposited DAI in here, and you just wanted to earn interest, that interest is paid to you in ALUSD. But using Alchemix, because there are no liquidations, there's no way you could get liquidated, and because there's no payments needed, your interest pays off. Your interest that your collateral earns pays your loan off. There is no reason to never click the max borrow button. You should always be borrowing 100% of the funds. So the ALUSD is a stable token right now. It's a synthetic stable token just based off of Alchemix. There aren't that many use cases for ALUSD at the moment. Those are coming though. ALUSD will just be like $1 eventually. But for now you have to take your ALUSD and exchange it for either DAI, USDC, or USDT, and then you can go spend it wherever you want. And it exchanges 1 for 1, very, very little slippage. So you do that on Curve. So I'd sell ALUSD periodically to get back to DAI and earn. Yes. So basically what you would do, instead of doing it periodically though, because there's no harm in getting all your future yield today. So this is saying, if I would have deposited $58,000 in here by September 22nd, 2030, I would have earned this $30,000 in interest. Current interest rate, if the interest rate stayed at 5.6% and I left all this collateral in here till September 2030, it would have made me $30,000 in ALUSD. Alchemix is saying, take that $30,000 today. Take your future yield today and go do something with it. Instead of getting $1,000 a year that you can only invest a little by little, or barely go on a vacation, or barely pay any bills. Like, what's that gonna pay? My fucking internet bill every month? My trash bill is probably the cheapest. It's like $50 a month for trash, or $40 a month for trash takeout. Or I could borrow all 30 G's today, and I could deposit it. I could put it to work. You could take this $30,000 and invest it. You could invest it in Bitcoin, in Ethereum. You could invest it in more stable tokens to go farm. You could take that $30,000, put it back in Alchemix, earn 5.6% on the $30,000, and at any time it's in Alchemix, you could pay your loan off. At any moment, you could pay your loan off. So why wouldn't you just max borrow, put the money to work in a safe way where you're not going to lose? I wouldn't max borrow and go buy Ethereum, because then if Ethereum goes down, you can't pay back your loan and your money's locked up. But if you hit the max borrow button and you just deposit it in stable coins back into the protocol, It's always sitting here. You could always withdraw it, pay off the loan, and take your initial collateral out. I've seen it as low as like in the 3%, like just around 4%, like 3.8%, and I've seen it go as high as like 8%. And it seems to stick around the like 4 to 6% range. V2 is going to change a lot of things. We're so early. So this protocol, this is brand new technology. This came out February of 2021. So V1 here has a lot of security lockups. They wanted to make sure they didn't get hacked. They wanted to make sure they did not make the news for Alchemix protocol hacked, users lose millions of dollars. You know what I mean? So they made V1, there's no smart contract interaction. You can't use flash loans or anything like that on version 1. Also, the collaterals are kind of locked up. You can only do DAI deposits and ETH vault deposits. In V2, you're gonna be able to deposit DAI, USDC, USDT, and there might be some other stable coins they're looking at adding in the future, but I know those 3 at first will be allowed. They're also looking at adding ALBTC and a vault for Bitcoin, which I think will be great. I will be wrapping all my Bitcoin and depositing in Alchemix. And of course, ALETH. And right now, the ETH vault, you have to have a 400% collateralization ratio, meaning you can only borrow 25% of your funds. So if you put 1 ETH in here, you can only borrow a quarter of an Ethereum. Well, that will be going up to 50% very quickly, and the collateralization ratio down to 200% in V2. So if you put 1 ETH in here in V2, you'll be able to borrow half an Ethereum. It's custodied in the smart contract, but only you have access via your hard wallet. There's no Alchemix dev that can log into your account. Like, this is logged into my wallet. This is our wallet with our funds signed into here. And you can use a hard wallet to secure the funds in your Alchemix smart contract. Does that make sense? Like, it's not custodied in your wallet, like on your MetaMask, in your MetaMask account. It is in a smart contract. But the smart contract for this is public and people have audited it. So trust the code, not people. People don't have access to it. Only you have access to it with your hard wallet keys. It's in your custody in their smart contract. You do custody your assets, but it doesn't like show up in my MetaMask like, hey, we've got $60,000 in Alchemix, because at that time you have deposited it into their smart contract. But none of the devs, nobody else has access to your funds when in Alchemix. So I think that's important to note. And then I think also important to note is there's going to be other yield aggregators you're going to be able to choose from that are going to get you higher APYs. That's also going to come with more risk, but it's good to note that you're going to have more choices of composability in the future with V2 as to where your yield comes from. Maybe you set a little bit of funds aside to earn in a higher risk pool, but you get higher yield, and the majority of your funds is still in the nice, safe urine vault, earning a little bit. And the thing to really do as a single person, like El Munsford Twan says, forever lacking collateral, you have to limit yourself. It's so hard for me right now to not spend the ETH I have waiting on V2, not spend the DAI I have waiting. But if I can sit here and save and deposit, like let's say I want to go gamble on a bunch of NFTs, right? Why not deposit into Alchemix and borrow what I want to go ape into NFTs so I don't blow my initial collateral, that the hard money I've worked for to buy ETH that I want to hold. I don't go blow that on gambling on some NFT. I take a loan and I go blow the fucking loan. And who cares about the ALETH I go spend? I mean, yes, it matters. Yes, it could be 6 years of my life gone, you know, to get that back or get my collateral out, but at least I didn't go blow my initial hard-earned money, you know? And your initial collateral is here still earning you interest. Now, it costs more, especially using Alchemix version 1. If you want to go buy an NFT today that costs $100, you need to go put $400 in Alchemix to borrow the $100 to go buy that NFT. But doing so keeps you capital efficient for the rest of your life, because now you're earning ETH, and constantly you're going to have more ALETH borrowable. And if you do this for long enough, you'll have a constant cash flow of ETH coming in that you can spend on whatever you want. And if you're bullish on ETH and you think ETH is going to continue to go up, this is a very interesting savings account. If you think ETH is going to go to $100,000 for Ethereum, and you could put one in here and earn, it's like nothing today in interest in cash, but what if ETH 10x's or 100x's from here? Yeah, I'm stuck. This would have been a better option. You totally should have mentioned it before. I know. It's not like I've been screaming Alchemix literally all year long, you know? Shame on me for not mentioning Alchemix all the way back in March of 2021. Shame. Shame. Shame on me.
Shame, shame, shame!
I've been screaming it from the rooftops. So when people miss out on Alchemix and miss out on all the gains there, like actually using the service, like I actually use Alchemix, the vaults, the savings account. So why would I not want to own the fucking token and own the system too? You get some of the earnings. If you own the Alchemix governance token in the future, in V2, in the future, and this could be years out from now, like I don't expect this to happen in 2022, but there will be revenue sharing. So the 10% that Alchemix scoops off the top before it hits your account, that goes into the Alchemix treasury, some of that's going to be distributed to token holders in the future. Call this the fucking Church of Green, baby. We're out here talking money, smoking weed. Amen. Hallelujah. You've been blessed, Kile. I fixed you, sir. Your financial situation will be good. This is not financial advice for anybody watching. I'm a human in my basement, smoking cannabis. I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. Do your own research. Do your own due diligence. Please leave me the fuck alone. If you lose all your money, that's not on me. If Alchemix gets hacked tomorrow and all this shit evaporates, don't fucking come talking to me, alright? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just a guy gambling in my basement. Gambling away.